Tea's a good drink. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 11th of February episode of my fantabulous live stream. Let me get these off so that I don't get the glare. So, what do I always say? We got Debbie's. We got Blades. Whoop. And we will likely talk about a little bushcrafty stuff at some point during this live stream. So before we get too far into it, I just want to do the usual housekeeping. That's the part where I say unto you that if you are watching us time shifted to next week or tomorrow or next month or next year or whatever, thanks. I do love seeing the comments show up in the doobly-doo below the video after the fact. It warms the cockles of my heart to know that you're kicking back with us, even though you can't participate in the side chat of the video there. And, you know, I just love you. If at any point tonight you are really loving what's going on, then I invite you to throw me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you kind of hate what's going on, that's all right. Frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to help me keep the lights on and eating food and stuff, like several in the side chat already have, I invite you to investigate the join button right there. Give it a right click, open it in another tab. There you will see the two tiers of membership that are available to you for your hard-earned money, as well as what each tier gets you for that hard-earned money. The theme for tonight is pretty loosey-goosey, but I do have a reading, which I will do as soon as I finish saying hi to all the peeps who are already kicking back with me, which looks like I've got 11 people kicking back. I do not know how many thumbs ups I have because I have to reload the YouTube page, and I just can't be arsed to do it right now. I just can't. So, sip of tea, because it's a good drink. Got a Glencairn for later. We got a drinky poo for later. A drinky pants. We got Off-Grid Recon showing up right off the bat. Throwing hands. How are you doing tonight, Off-Grid? Canadian is just popping in to say hi, I guess maybe evening folks have a good night, so maybe he's not sticking it out for the whole thing. That's okay. Get some rest, or maybe you're taking some family time right now. I know things have been really rough on your family lately, and I do feel so. No pressure. We got Grace popping in. How you doing, Grace? Oh, I forgot to say. I don't have to say anything. Right after that, we got Mark Davidson, who is a channel hero, as you can tell by that beautiful little icon next to his name. Everyone say hi. Grace doing the God's good works by reminding everyone to hit that smiley thumb for me, which, as I said before, does warm the cockles of my little heart, my cold, dark little heart. Hike with Mike popping in. How you doing tonight, Hike with Mike? He said, saving it at the last moment. How's the weather down there? So, speaking of weather, on my phone right now, I have not one, but 4 weather warnings. 3 winter storm watches and a winter storm warning. So tonight, starting at around 10, we should get somewhere between 24 and 32 centimeters of snow, which means there's a really big chance that it's going to be a snow day for my girls tomorrow, which will complicate my life massively. But that's okay. And then we should get dumped on again a couple of days later. We should probably end up with about 50 centimeters all told after all is done. Well, granted, they say that, and then live streams, nothing's going to keep me up. So yes, Hike with Mike. I hope that you're getting a break weather-wise. I know it's been really cold for you guys in Florida. Destiny popping in. How you doing, Destiny? Just let me scroll down a little bit. Let me scroll down a little bit. Yes, of course I'm live. It is Tuesday night. I should call my live streams Tuesday Night Live. I'd probably get so jumped on by lawyers. But it'd be funny though. Hi there, Longest Quest 3. Have I been yawning or something? Oh no, I said the word. Oh, it's awful. Oh, I think Skip was telling me how many thumbs up I had. Country Boy, just rebooting. Be involved shortly, I hope. What drinky poo are you having tonight, Jess? I don't know if Country Boy is back yet, but tonight is Rabbit Hole night. Okay, tonight. I'm looking at you through the bottle, guys. Tonight is Rabbit Hole night. Likely the last bourbon I will be buying for a while. Everyone's just saying hi. Hike with Mike says it is warm again, but heavy fog every morning, which is kind of interesting and beautiful in its own way. I do love a foggy morning. I also really like a foggy evening, like when you know that the street lights are on, but they're just sort of like these little glowy spots rather than like nothing's clear. Everything's just sort of. I love it. Like I do love the fog. It's all romantic. That's the thing. It's just so romantic. The fog. It's like you're walking through a golden age film. The old black. At the end of a Casablanca or something. Am I remembering the end of Casablanca wrong? Do they walk into fog or no? They probably don't. I may have to give my degree back if I'm not keeping the film stuff straight. Steve Ground saying hi. How you doing, Steve? Steve, by the way, is a channel hero, just as Country Boy is. Country Boy is also a channel mod. It's good to have a mod in the house. We are the mods. We are the mods. We are the mods. Carol popping in to say hi. How you doing, Carol? Carol is also a channel hero, by the way. Country Boy's having some laptop troubles. I wonder, what's the issue with your laptop? You seem to have laptop troubles all the time, Country Boy. I have a fair amount of trouble. I have a fair amount of issues with my work laptop. It's a Windows machine, but my home one, it's old as the hills, and the only trouble I have with it is that it's slow. Yep, it's a very nice bottle, as you guys know from a live stream ago, 2 live streams ago, that it was a gift. Thank you massively, Mister. By the way, we got Peanut Trucker in the house. Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so be nice or get the road hammer dropped on you. Okay. Destiny's asking where Peanut Trucker and Christy are tonight. Of course, Peanut Trucker commented right before her, so I'm getting the feeling that was a 2 people typing at the same time thing, which is okay. Chris is in Des Moines, Iowa, waiting on the snowstorm. Aren't we all? I think so too, Mike. I think Casablanca was quite foggy. I got to watch that film again. I love those old black and white golden age films. I love them. I also discovered a few years ago that I watched. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. Like the Disney Zorro from like 1955-ish. I just adored that show. I think I want to watch Casablanca again. Some of my all-time favorite films are Casablanca, that original. If they ever redo it, I'm gonna flip a table. I loved also Streetcar Named Desire. I loved it as a play as well. It's probably I was gonna say it's probably my favorite play. I'm not sure. It's probably in my top 5 though. And I love the movie. there was something about film in that era that you just don't get anymore. It wasn't rolling at, you know, MTV speed either. It wasn't like cut, 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 cut the way films are these days. Like scenes had time to sort of breathe a little bit. Everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anyone who's popped in. I want to make sure I say hi to everyone who's joining us. I love it. The Mod Squad. Yeah, the Mod Squad. That is from now on the name. It's now the name. So Destiny, remind me. Apparently I have a message on Facebook Messenger. No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. I said, no, I don't. Boop. There it goes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I'm going to close the P.O. box because they got a card back, and it's just been more trouble than it's worth. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to close my P.O. box for sure. I'm tired of dealing with this. So, Chris, I'll send you my actual address. And that's disappointing. That's really disappointing. Sorry, guys. Man, my sinuses are giving me trouble. Fighting with the laptops of trying to pay attention on your phone. That's the nice thing about these live streams. If your computer is giving you hell, just use your phone. But still, man, I still have a hard time. Like, you can't at somebody with ease the way you can on a computer. That's why, like, if ever I'm catching like Russell's live stream and you guys are all there, hey Jess, how's it going? I try to like at and get the name right, and sometimes I mess it up because I'm too old for phones or something. But I'm not as active with the Cheetah chat on a phone as I am on a computer. Mike says older movies had deeper dialogue than movies later on too. There's an element to that as well. I mean, those old films are, in many ways, they're plays on screen. Like original Star Trek as well was very much like that. You could almost see the proceeding arch. You know, the delivery was very. You know, we all think that guys like Shatner were overacting. They weren't. They were theater acting because they hadn't yet. We hadn't yet developed screen acting to the point where it is now, where like screen acting is very small, right? It's very nuanced, whereas theater acting is ginormous, and you speak out, you know, and all that. But yeah, there's magic in those old films. Boom, boom. Chris always uses the phone. Interesting. If you at someone a lot, it automatically pops up no typing. Really? On your phone? Because I hate trying to at somebody on the phone. Oh, God, stop it. Yeah, Country Boy is with me on this one. It seems that I've caught up with the chat briefly. So I'm going to do a little reading. It's going to be a short reading. It's from Nunavut's Unfulfilled Promise in, wow, come on, fool. In the December/January issue of Canada's History Magazine, which used to be called The Beaver. I can tell why they changed that. So it's an article commemorating the 25th anniversary of the founding of Nunavut, which the Kanakis here will know is the third of our territories. It was split off from the Northwest Territories and created in 1999 after eons of work. So I've got a little parchment paper over my light to sort of soften up this because Russell keeps bitching about it. But it does make the reading a little harder. When the territory of Nunavut was founded in 1999, it promised to be a place where Inuit language and culture would not only survive, but flourish. Elected the territory's first premier on March 5th of that year, Inuk lawyer Paul Ogarlik modestly commented, "I want to give more opportunities to the communities." Governor General Romeo Leblanc was more effusive as he unveiled the Nunavut flag and coat of arms at a festive ceremony in the territory's capital of Iqaluit a month later on April 1st. These symbols recognize not only a new territory but an ancient heritage, he said. Your own spirit was always your main resource, but today your history is entering a new stage. Why am I reading this tonight? Two reasons. One, I was looking for something to use as a reading. um, we're in a very political point right now, and so I was looking for something that was like it seems that everything that comes into the transom into my vision right now is infuriating. Um, and I was very excited when Nunavut was created. So um, for the this article was made for the 25th anniversary of what I saw as a happy occasion. Um, and as you guys know, I'm dying to see the North. Just dying to see the North. Maybe see the North in like May rather than February, but um, or maybe April, somewhere where it's not black fly season, you know. Um, but I think a lot about the North. I think I have dreams of seeing the North, of watching the Northern Lights from up north rather than from Calgary or something. And the Inuit have a very cool syllabary. It's not an alphabet. I think it's an abugida, where um, the symbols are like they're syllables or they're sounds. Like A is A, B is B, C is K or S, depending. Whereas in the Inuit writing, they're actually ba be bo, right? And I'm gosh darn burn it, there we go. And I've always been kind of a language geek. Like I am enchanted by scripts that are not the Roman alphabet. I thought runes were fascinating. I find stuff like this fascinating. Um, One of the coolest languages you will ever look at is Japanese because they use three scripts at the same time. It's fascinating. And Japanese writing was developed largely by its noble women who were left home while their samurai husbands were out fighting and dying and stuff. And they were looking for something to do, and they many of them turned to poetry. And the Chinese the Chinese ideograms, okay, were not up to the specific needs of the Japanese. And so that's why hiragana and katakana were created mostly by these noble women. And those do not have concepts behind them, right? Those two are specifically sounds. And hiragana is for most the central idea of a Japanese word will be in the Chinese characters. And then the ending or whatever will be in hiragana. But if the word is like onomatopoeic, like a sound or a foreign word, or I think in some cases female names, I'm not sure about that, then it'll be in katakana, which is very different looking, very much more angular. Fascinating, man. Absolutely fascinating. And so to me, like the creation of Nunavut was cool, right? Because it was different. You know, the system of government is a little different. It's a little more influenced by the Inuit, whereas the rest of the country is all straight up Westminster style um, parliaments. You know, I mean, even the other two territories, they're a little different, but they're still essentially Westminster style um, democracies. Hold on a second. Um, oh yeah, so I really want to see Nunavut one day. And if any of you, by the way, don't want to hear me talking about this, I'll have none of it. Why did I say that? Where did that come from? God. um, but also, I'm attracted to areas with kind of extreme weather. Like the north gets really cold in the winter, and it freezes up like big time. Um, but like I'm also enchanted by the desert. When I was down going through like Arizona and um, Nevada, a couple of years ago, gorgeous, just starkly beautiful, same as the Arctic, right? Just a lot hotter. They're both technically deserts, but one is a snow desert and the other is a sand desert. I love those because I didn't grow up in that kind of environment, right? The biomes that I grew up in were like the wet rainforests of the West Coast and, the mixed broadleaf forest of, around Montreal. And so like my favorite biomes in order of preference are like the boreal. Russell might not be here yet, so he doesn't get to hear me say that, but the boreal forest. Um, I think the north, just because I have this obviously glorified image of it, and then the desert for sure. Love it. I've only been in very briefly in like swampland or marshland. Um, I could find magic in any biome, like in any natural system, but I'm enchanted by the desert, by the tundra and the boreal. I have 3 favorite animals. I say 3 because, the order switches around, but generally it's like orca, seal, penguin, and I'm aware of the food chain element of that. But they're all essentially northern animals. I mean, orcas swim everywhere, but like Pacific Northwest is the the concentration area. He questions himself. No, I'm right. Stuff that I used to read up on and forget everything because I forget everything. Um, so yeah, none of it. I just think because it was the 25th anniversary in 2024, um, and this article was written. It was like the universe telling me that to talk about it. And I missed my opportunity to go to the north because my brother used to fly for First Air. That's one of the Inuit-owned airlines, and he was living up there, not in Nunavut. He was living in the Northwest Territories in Yellowknife. He said, "You just have to get yourself up here, and then you can stay with me." But it's really expensive to fly up there. Like, not only is everything expensive up there, but it's expensive to get there. So I never went. I never went. Let me see. Let me just catch up with the Chitty chat. Like with Mike uses his phone 80% of the time to check the time. Okay, fair enough. Got you. Russell's just jealous. Bald is beautiful, even if it's by choice, like me. It's by choice. Well, I mean, it's mostly by choice for me, but like I'm thinning here enough that I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to be the comb over guy. When I first shaved my head, it freaked out many of the people I know. Let me tell you, but Destiny says, so which indigenous language was used as code in World War II? Was it Inuit? I believe that was Navajo. There were 2 code talker languages, but the sort of the big ticket one, I think was Navajo. Mike with Mike. It was the Navajo language. Yeah. Mike is a history teacher. I have a massive respect for teachers. I think I do think sometimes that I would have liked to have been a teacher, like primary school, except that the subjects that interest me are things like history, geography, stuff like that. So, I mean, that's more like high school, right? In Canada, A is A. All right. It's like Canadian cowboys, right? Yippee ki yay, eh? God, why am I talking? Oh, Country Boy got his computer working. Nice. Nice. Welcome to the computer world. Um, yes, Kenji. Um, Kanji are the Chinese, which is the center of the word. Hiragana and katakana are the two syllabics. Country Boy is in, so now Destiny's laptop is having a trouble. I love it. Yeah, Nunavut is, well, as a political entity, Nunavut is only a quarter century old. But I mean, there have been people living there for millennia. Um, the boreal, the north, and the desert. Yeah, yeah, Mike. That's it for me as well. It's like it's so. I should probably adjust the camera because when I have like these texts, it looks like I'm hiding behind a wall. It's fighting me. Okay, never mind. Yeah, and the desert intrigues me for the exact same reason. Squirrel is not included, Destiny. I mean, they're cute little buggers for sure, but oh yeah, river otters are absolutely adorable. I love them absolutely. um, Destiny's view of the swamp is kind of similar to mine, I guess, in some ways, with rodents of unusual size. Please, somebody know what I just referenced. Lots of Spanish moss. Is Spanish moss useful as a fire starter, Mr. Mike? That's why haiku are so popular. You know what? I'll tell you something. When I was taking Sino-Japanese history, one of our exercises was to write a haiku, and I spent like the end of high school all the way through Cégep and most of university writing poetry because it made me very interesting to the girls. Um, Haiku are tough. Like to do it right, to do it well, haiku are tough. Where's Russell, by the way? Like it's easier to write an epic than a haiku. I feel in some ways, you know. Destiny is. Let's see. Whoop, hold on. Oh no, it jumped. Okay, Jess is live right now. He is talking to us all. The reading was good. My haiku. That's yep. It works. You done good. Um, Off Grid says we have Spanish moss here in Oregon. It works well as a fire starter. That's good to know. I've used like old man's beard and stuff like that, but not all. Like, oh, here's moss. It's gonna be great. No, it's not all great. It's not all great. I have wasted many, many um, minutes or half-hour segments trying to get various kinds of moss to light. Mike never tried it as a fire starter. My guess is tried out, it would be a good fire starter. You know, I would like to be starting a fire right now out in the woods. Actually, right now, I would probably be getting buried under snow. I don't know if it's snowing yet, actually. Mostly fat wood, yeah. Yeah. Well, my phone tells me it's not snowing yet, because if it was snowing, oops. Severe weather, partly cloudy. Oh, cool. We're just gonna leave that there. Destiny is the haiku master. Destiny, you have received a new title. So many new titles going out. Destiny's the haiku master. We got the mod squad. Country boy is saying, "Am I the only one buffering?" No, I buffered too. Uh-oh. That might be the snow. I'm gonna refresh my page, but I'm not expecting much here. Yeah. Audio seems okay, says Mark Davidson. Let me know if the audio is fine. It's just the yeah, country boy. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going on. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Okay, so the audio is fine. All right, so I mean, I guess guys, just don't even look at the screen. Well, we'll just chat. We'll pretend that it's a radio show, okay? In fact, maybe I'll pretend that it's a podcast. You know, welcome to the Rain Dance Bushcraft podcast. Tonight we're talking about Nunavut. We're talking about the impending storm, and we are probably at some point going to be talking about whiskey because, hey, why not? It's a podcast, people, and every podcast is an opportunity for Jesse to talk about whiskey. Now, yeah, exactly. Off-grid says it's just a slideshow. Exactly. So irritating. I kind of want to look at my window and see what the because there's a couple of things, right? Yeah, it looks like it is starting to snow a little bit, but there's also going to be crazy wind. So, I mean, it's not going to be the easiest night for a signal, I don't think. Oh, man, that is buffering as hell, though. I'm not happy about that. Hi, good. Mike says, "I'm just glad hurricane season is over. The woods got really torn up this year, so many trails are impassable. Really." I mean, a big storm weather can really do a number on an area for sure. I remember what's it called? A microcell kicked the pants out of this neighborhood several years ago. Just a whole bunch of really big, 100-year-old trees just done, just on the ground. The electrical wires were down everywhere. Cars were damaged and houses were damaged because trees got knocked down. I mean, weather can really you can't beat weather. You know, if weather decides that it's gonna be like that, then it's gonna be like that. Um, Destiny's asking an interesting question. Is the swamp a sort of hurricane buffer? Like, does it help to de-escalate that weather pattern? I'm curious. Now, the reason why I find that question interesting is because I was listening to 99% Invisible, and there are areas in the States that have started to um, reverse areas that had been wetlands. And I don't know if a swamp counts as a wetland, but like along certain rivers and stuff, you know, pulling back the city and turning the part next to the river back into a wetland and putting like a storm wall behind that because wetlands do tend to mitigate storm surges. Country Boy got one of those a couple of months ago. They called it a cyclone bomb. Yeah, that's something similar, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure, but this buffering is really bugging me. I'm not going to look at the YouTube page because I'm just going to get pissed off. Yeah. Oh well. It's okay. Mike says yes. Yeah, the swamp acts as a buffer. The problem is with the horrific urban sprawl in Florida, the swamps are drained for more housing. Yeah. And that kind of thing has been happening all over North America. And now these areas, there are whole neighborhoods built in floodplains, right? And these neighborhoods are built and these houses were sold. And then 20 years later, the owners are underwater and being told that they have to sell if they want to be insurable. You know, that's not the homeowner's fault. That's the developer's fault. Yeah. Yes, Country Boy, I am very well. He says, "Don't look at YouTube. It'll make you leave early, and we have a drink to share at 10." Exactly. Yeah. I'm just taking a look to see. So, interestingly, like if I show that text on screen again and then hide it, so my actual camera footage is totally frozen, but the text. Let me try something, okay? First of all, you know what though? That can't be it because I wasn't buffering on my streaming app. It was just, I don't know. It's confusing to me. Like right now, my camera is back on, and yet on the YouTube page, still nothing. So, yeah, okay, I don't know. So it is the signal, but I just don't know. Like Mike says, I don't care about the house. I regret the wildlife, their habitat destroyed and on the verge of extinction. Yep, I get it. I absolutely get it. Yeah, I was resetting, but it's not doing anything. So I no idea. No idea. Let me check something here. Let me check my settings. What if I drop my output from 1080p to 720? Let's see if that works. That doesn't look like it's done anything. Oh, well. Sorry about bull bull stuff, guys. Um, look, I can sit here and get all pissed off and everything, or we can just sort of move on, right? But, like, would you guys prefer that What's up with that? So let's see. Am I still frozen? That is in fact, Shawnee, a tarp. Hold on. Arg. That's not what I meant to do. God damn it. There, that's what I wanted. Yeah, it's the top of a tarp that I had up. It's my I don't remember what brand it is, but it's a tarp that I always have with me when I hit the woods. Put it up next to my fire. Burned a couple of holes in it. So right now I have my camera on, but on the YouTube page, it's still sort of frozen to there we go. Oh yeah, that's no better. All right, whatever. I'm gonna leave it. Honeybee in the house. How you doing, Honeybee? We're having a frustrating time here. Most likely due to the weather that is about to batter the crap out of my house. Well, not really batter the crap. We're about to get like 30 centimeters, 30 odd centimeters of snow, and so obviously I'm getting signal fade. Rain fade is what they used to call it for satellite dishes. People who had, instead of cable, and there was no Netflix yet, so they had these dishes outside their house. Rain fade was always a big deal with those dishes. I think there's something similar happening with my signal, whatever the hell's going on. Let me just check my signal. Let me try something. If I'm about to kill my live stream, I'll set it right back up and come back on, okay? Hold on to that thought. Can you guys hear me? Buffering. So it's not, because I thought that maybe the computer had defaulted to using Wi-Fi instead of my wired internet, which would have pissed me all the way off, but that is not what happened. I mean, Audible, yep, okay. So what's happening is likely outside my house then. Wait a minute. Am I actually moving? Is the buffering done? So maybe I'm going to shut my Wi-Fi off again and just leave it off for the duration of the live stream, because maybe what was happening was that it was defaulting to the Wi-Fi for some reason. I don't know what happened, but I'm looking at my YouTube page and it sure looks better to me. So we're going to call that a win and hope that it doesn't piss me off again, because at 10, so we can't have buffering. Is Honeybee having a whiskey ce soir? Are you having the whiskey tonight? Yeah, looks fixed to me too. So I guess the computer had convinced itself that Wi-Fi was the way to go for a live stream, which is a terrible concept. Yeah. Yeah, Shawnee, I'm excited about this bottle because I've never had this particular rabbit hole before, but I've had the other one, and I love it. It's all peanutty goodness, and it's what bourbon can be when it's done right, Yeah. Anyways, my technology is infighting. Absolutely. Honeybee says he'd be joining with about a finger's worth in a small glass. And what are you going to be having? I think you finished your Aberlour, didn't you? So what do you got? You showed me a cool bottle a couple of weeks ago. What was it? Oh, no, I'm not going to stare at my phone while I'm chatting with you guys. That's not being a good host. Is this a straight? No. Yes, it's a straight bourbon whiskey. Let me open it now and let it air out a little bit. Country boy, I'm opening it now and letting it air out a little bit. Mm-mm. It really is frustrating to not know which side of the uh, because it's mirrored. I keep sort of trying to put stuff in the wrong spot to show you guys. You know, booty boop booty boop boop, ba bam bam. Yeah, so because Russell complains about my light being too bright, um, I said to those of you who were here, I put parchment paper on my light to darken it up, but it does make seeing things more of a challenge. So exciting to be opening a new bottle. And as I said, I probably won't be buying bourbon for the foreseeable future. So this is a special bottle. I've still got a couple of unopened ones in the in the vault. So it's not like my last bourbon for the next God knows what, but it's probably the last one I'm buying. And that's a cheat. I didn't buy this. Country Boy bought it. He sent me the money. Did you hear that? That could have been really bad. Oh, it smells delish. A wee dram. Oh, that's an energetic dram. It's okay. It's fine. We're all friends here. So I'm going to let that air out. I'm going to show off the bottle one more time. See, there we go. Get my face out of the way so that the bottle is in focus. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Hold on. Oh, you're having the Traverse City Cherry. That's a whiskey liqueur, I believe. A whiskey cherry liqueur. Was it like 30%, 30, 38, something like that? Am I remembering that right? Or am I just messing it up? Stop messing it up, Jesse. Just gotta be messing everything up. Traverse City Whiskey Company. I'm gonna show a picture of it, okay? I'm gonna hide your actual name. Oh, for God's sakes. Stupid phone. Let's try that again. Small batch. Handcrafter. Traverse City Whiskey Company. Bourbon whiskey infused with Traverse City cherries and natural flavor. 35% alcohol by volume. So that is a whiskey liqueur. I bet you that's tasty. Yeah, I do get a whiff of sherry in that for sure. Good. Mike says everything is good here except for my foreign language interpreter app is not working to identify Canadian English from American English. That is so Bradley. Why you gotta be like that? Yeah, that is definitely sherried. But it is not yet 10, so I'm just going to leave that right there. Hi, Mike says, I find parchment paper to be very dry. Be very dry. Fair enough. But you know, it was to darken up the like so that it wasn't so bright. I do find it still a little bright. I would like to trade that light out. That was a weird sentence. I would like to swap that light out. I'd like to get something else that's a little smaller, or just like a ring light right there or something. Just because it is not meant to be like It's it's close, and I think it's too bright to be this close. That's 160 LEDs in there, and I think I need something closer to, like, 100, or something like that. It is too bright, but I don't know what the thing is, it was affordable, right? It was very affordable. Um, but yeah, I need to find, like, a small like, they sell these little tiny lights that just go on top of your camera that are meant for, like, interview kinda things. I need something like that, I think. I might, it is now 10 o'clock. So, country boy, I invite you to open your bottle and, pour yourself a dram, and when you are ready, let me know, and we will have a dram together. Mr. Honeybee, that is your call to action as well. Um, Honeybee, did you drop some ice in that Traverse City? Like, with, like, blistering barnacles again. Country boy's glass is ready, so, cheers. I guess you didn't hear that. So, for the sound effect. Sherried? Yes, so wait, take a snip. Honeybee is having ice, okay. Very soft. Um, it's got a lot of sherry notes, like a dark fruit, oak, which I love. Touch of marzipan. Like an almondy thing, but no, it's transitioning into peanuts, like a peanut brittle kind of thing. Hey, Marcel's here. How you doing, Marcel? Okay, I'm going in. So good. The marzipan is still there. The peanut brittle is still there, like that I get from the other, the other rabbit hole. The name of which I forget every single time. What this is the Derringer. Okay, so it's your Kentucky straight bourbon. I'm trying to hide my head, um, but it's finished in sherry casks now. So it's probably like whatever 2 or 3 years in virgin oak as bourbon is done, and then whatever a couple of weeks, 6 months, something like that in sherry. I mean, there's enough sherry there that it wasn't just 5 minutes because bourbon has many bourbon has many very good rules around it in terms of like chill filtering or filtration, or well, in terms of caramel color, and all these things, the bonded versus straight versus blah blah blah. They all bring good things to the beverage. But if you're just picking up a bottle of bourbon that's not bonded or straight or any of that, legally, all it has to do is touch oak, right? It doesn't even have to have been in a barrel. You could have poured it from a vat through a straw that has oak chips in it into a bottle, right? Aged 30 minutes kind of thing. And it's technically bourbon. That's why when I'm buying bourbon, it's got to be bonded or straight or one of those kinds of things. I very rarely just pick up a bottle of it's bourbon. Yeah. So this is a straight as well. Um, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select Tennessee Whiskey. So I mean, who knows? This does happen to be delicious, by the way, and the whole Lincoln County process. You're never gonna be able to tell by the taste. It might say something about aging in the barrels here, but it's too small for me to read it. So to hell with it. Whereas Canadian whiskey, Irish, Scotch, Japanese, Indian, minimum 3 years to be legally called whiskey. Um, got a bit of just a touch of like a black licorice on that. And that's weird because um, licorice is something that you get with a lot of American ryes. Well, what's the mash bill on this? Like, is it a high rye? It doesn't say anything. Oh, 65% maize. Okay, English side, please. 65% corn, 25% wheat, and 10% malted barley. Never chill filtered, which is good. And legally, you're not allowed to put caramel coloring in. So that I would call that an integrity bottling. And I would buy that again. This is like it's $97 in Quebec, I think. The other rabbit hole is, I believe, like $10 or $15 cheaper, and the ABV is a little higher on this. Is it what, 48%? 46.5%. The other one I believe is like 50%, or maybe that one's 48. But yeah, very, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing how it tastes after the bottle's been cracked for a couple of weeks. Hi, good. Mike says Derringer was an infamous 1920s bootlegger outlaw in American history. I believe that there's also a special kind of hand pew pew, which was a Derringer as well. The spelling here is different, but it was clearly an homage to Derringer. This is, I mean, I might be mispronouncing that, right? Like, that may be a completely different word. Derringer, Derringer, jeez, Dareringer, Derringer. See, now I'm questioning myself. Excuse me while I look it up on the tube of views. I got to do this. I just got to figure it out. Rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. Derringer sherry cask bourbon. Excuse me for 1 second, people. I just got to hear how it sounds. And there is a Whiskey Vault video, which was a channel I used to love. Just give me a second here. I'm just going to listen to it for a sec. Okay, but what is it? I'm just listening to see. They're not saying the damn name. So you know what? Whatever. We're just going to pretend. We're just going to pretend that I know what the hell I'm talking about that name. Derringer, maybe? And it looks like Derringer to me. So, yeah, but Marcel, it's spelt differently. Right? It's not spelt like Derringer. I thought it was just, like now it looks like Derringer. Darren. You know what? I'm not going to spend any more time thinking about this. What I will do is watch a half dozen YouTubes on it. And then I will report back during the next live stream. I'll say, folks, I have discovered the pronunciation of the whiskey name. In the meantime, I am going to surreptitiously, without anyone noticing, check out the Rabbit Hole, not the TV series, not coffee, micro roaster of the year. I don't. So there's a Rabbit Hole Roasters in Delson, Quebec, which is not what I was looking for. There's a Rabbit Hole Cafe. There's a Rabbit Hole Pub in Toronto. What the hell? Guys. So I will look up Rabbit Hole Bourbon. Bourbon. Rabbit Hole Distillery, bourbon and whiskey. Because all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. Oh, for God's sakes, don't make me there. Boom, boom. Okay, Derringer. Find near me. No, I just want to see, like, do they say how to pronounce it? Award-winning sherry cask finished bourbon. Born from romance. Our sherry cask finished bourbon is inspired by the wife of our founder. Cave is a Zamanian. Elegant, sweet, and charming. She is the muse behind our brand. A Louisville native. Louisville, right? I think Chris worked me through the pronunciation of that name. A Louisville native, she helped Cave fall in love with bourbon, luring him away from his beloved scotch. This simple act of affection evolved into a passion for creating whiskey and led him down a rabbit hole he may never have dared alone. But how do you pronounce the frickin' name from Spain to Kentucky? No, I don't care. Mash bill, 65% corn, 25% wheat, 10% malted barley. Doesn't tell me how to pronounce the name. We're just moving on. Destiny is asking, Chris, are you waiting out the expected storm, or do you have to haul tomorrow, storm or no storm? I think Chris said he was waiting it out. Am I right? Country Boy is saying to Marcel, I don't know if you like bourbon, but if you do, you'll have to try this bottle. I think it's a very good bottle. Now, do I think it's miles better than the other rabbit hole that I've had? I should have, you know what? I should have brought that bottle down and done an A/B comparison. This really is delicious. Also, what I'm picking up as it sort of opens up to the areas, some of the sherried notes that not everyone likes, but I do. There's a sulfur just at the back, just a tiny bit, which is nice because some sherried whiskeys can go way into the sulfur. Dark fruits, plums, cherries, the kind of stuff that you don't tend to get unless you've finished your bourbon and a sherry. If there's no caramel color, then that's a gorgeous color. But that would also tell me that it's sat in. Would you focus? Come on, fool. That color tells me that it sat in sherry for a good not a good long time, but like weeks rather than minutes or days. I should find out. Yeah. Grace says never Louisville or Louisville is correct. Yeah, I think I was trying to say Louisville. I think that's what Chris said it is. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but just be nice about it, okay? Because as I said, we're all friends here. We're all palling around, enjoying each other's company. Country Boy says every palate is different. I guess I get no sulfur. It's very light. You have to look for it. You have to look for it, or maybe I'm picking it up because I've had a lot of sherried whiskey, so like there's a familiarity there. Yeah, the legs, or in whiskey, sometimes we call them the tears, are nice. There aren't too many of them, right? Which tells you that there's going to be kind of a syrupy thing happening, like the feel, not the taste. But they're still there. It's very nice. That marzipan thing is familiar as well, and of course, there's spice there, of course, as well. Sherry butts are European oak, which brings a certain cooking spice element to the flavors as well. Yeah. Country Boy, no. Marcel, Little Fish says, "I am mostly a dry red wine drinker, but I do like bourbon sometimes. The Woodford is really good. Woodford is very good. I have bought the Woodford on many an occasion. The normal one, the double oaked. Um, I may not buy it again for reasons that I'm not going to go into here, but I do really like it. It's funny because real bourbon aficionados find it's kind of pedestrian, but good enough for me. I If I'm sitting back with a whiskey, like in this kind of format, it's not always going to be bourbon, right? It'll be like scotch. I almost never use in cocktails. Bourbon, I won't say I almost exclusively use in cocktails, but bourbon is my cocktail whiskey choice. Um, that's because I don't tend to buy the more traditional Canadian whiskeys because they're all designed for cocktails, which means they're piss poor. And the new generation Canadian whiskeys are way too good to put into a cocktail. Like, just nope. It's like putting, $150 scotch into a cocktail. It's like, like I might do a little float, like for a penicillin or something. But yeah, because I do see bourbon as most this. This is definitely sippable, though. You don't have to put this into a cocktail. It's way better than that. But like, so the Woodford is like kind of a mid-shelf bourbon, I guess. Um, but like, I never got to liking the Knob Creek, although I might try it again now that it's got an age statement on it. Like maybe 9 years brings something to it. Woodford and Bullet were sort of the two when I started getting into bourbon that I liked the best. They're both very friendly in the mouth, work beautifully in cocktails. Don't make you work too hard for it, but they still maintain a little bit of interest. Hmm. Good night, B. See you later. When you're awake, I want to hear about that drink you were having because we never discussed notes. Everyone say good night to Honeybee. Um, Country Boy says that he didn't really care for the Woodford, and that's legit too. I mean, it's not as good as this Rabbit Hole, that's for sure. Okay, everyone say good night to Honeybee. That's good. You're all being so friendly. I just love it. Country Boy says that JD is good for cocktails. Crown is good for cocktails. I think it'd be a sin to put Rabbit Hole in a cocktail. So I bought a Crown Royal Rye that was surprisingly not sucktacular. It was quite good, actually. Hey, Beto's here. How you doing? How's the weather? We're gonna get like 30 odd centimeters of snow tonight. So how's the weather down there? I don't think you're gonna get 30 centimeters. I was about to say something and it's gone. Oh yeah, that the Crown Royal Northern Harvest rye is actually pretty damn good. It's a 90% rye. But yeah, I don't tend to love Crown for much. Like I should probably have a bottle of it for thing is it's like it's a 40%, right? Which means it ain't gonna stand up against something like absinthe or um like chartreuse or Fernet Branca, like all these big flavors of 40% whiskey ain't gonna stand up. It'll be okay for like a whiskey cola or um, like a whiskey 7 Up or a whiskey ginger ale or something like that. Um, keep an eye on my other channel because I have designed a a Valentine's cocktail because as you guys know, I'm part of the I have a cocktail designers group on TikTok. Several of us also post to YouTube Shorts. Hold on a second. Chris says, off topic is, did a thing today. What did you do today? Want to hear about it? Maybe you bought a tool, like a bushcraft knife. That'd be cool. Oh, you sent it to me. Nice. Oh, your name's not on this. Okay, so that is very cool. How old is that? What I like about it is that it's got kind of a classic look, but it's more modern looking as well. That is really nice, and I'm guessing that's like an awning that comes out up at the top there? Where's my damn finger? Where's my like, is that oops, not that finger. Is that an awning that comes out? It's gotta be. Love it. That's cool. Brand new. I like that a lot. Mark likes it, for sure. Uh, Country Boy is like, when the hell do you have time to camp? Absolutely. Destiny likes it as well. Yeah, that's very nice. I'm not gonna ask you how much that costs because that is crass, but very cool. What company made that? Like, is it a well-known camper trailer maker? It's an off-road trailer. Wait, yes, awning and solar panels on top. Nice. I bet you this cost a mint. Country Boy says that's an off-road trailer. My dream tow behind. Is it an off-road trailer? That sounds cool. Got a little bonbon of gas there, obviously for the you got a gas stove inside, gas oven. Sunray, sun. It's not really. It's a little fuzzy. Sunray, sun something. Sunset RV park. No. I mean, sunset. Is that what it is? Or is that where you have it? Anyways, I like that. I think that's a nice little trailer. I mean, I'm not envious or anything because you've got a nice new trailer. Sunray 149. Okay, good to know. So nice. I mean, I do kind of wish you had some pictures of the inside because I would be very interested to see. Although I'll just look it up, right? Do they have several different versions of like configurations of the inside for you to choose from? Or is it like a one style thing? Oh, Sunset Park RV is the manufacturer. Okay. Okay. Sunray 149. Sunset RV. Okay. Oh, you don't have to verify me. Verification successful. Waiting for Sunset Trailers to respond. Why? It's just an advertising page. Oh, they look nice inside. Hello. I'm going to share this here screen. I'm going to share this here screen. As soon as I figured the hell out how to do it. Sunray 149. Show on stream. Boom. So here we go. Looks nice. Can I scroll? Yeah. Okay, so you got beds, toilet, little kitchenette. So what's that then? Am I wrong about this being beds? Or is this like little beds and this is a bed as well? Um, okay. Okay, so there's a big bed there. Little banquette. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So this is your banquet here. Whatever, the benches and table, whatever you would call that, and there's your bed. Okay. Do you guys see my mouse, or is it like I'm saying, oh, here's this, here's that, and you guys are like, what is he pointing to? Nice little setup in there. Is that a composting toilet, or is that one that you have to hook up to a system, or what? Tell me about the toilet. Uh, Jim says a friend bought an R-Pod off-road camper last summer. Very nice. I do not even know what that is. I just don't know what that is. Where's my damn YouTube page gone? There it is. I will look up R-Pod off-road camper. She wanted the red one. It's all wood inside with red accents. Okay, nice. Marcel's off for a little bit, but she'll be back soon. That's okay. Okay, so it's a sewage toilet. All right. Good to know. I didn't even know those things existed. Destiny loves the red color. Great choice. Is it like an air conditioning or just like a little fan in there? I'm just thinking because you guys down where you live, it must get hot in the summer. Like, do you just have to open up the windows, or is there like a little like fan or some sort of airflow management in there? And it's very nice looking. I shudder to think what those things would. AC and heat. Okay. Okay. It would be nice to step into that after being outside in -40 all day, trying to hunt a deer or something. It's like, I'm so cold. But there's like no wood burning stove in that though. That's a whole different. It's a different kind of camping. Still nice though. It'd be nice to snuggle into that big old bed, kind of early, as soon as the sun goes down. Snuggle in there. What's up with my Tabernouche? Propane heat. Yep. I sort of gathered that it was propane cooking, at least from the gas canister on the front. How much does it weigh? Like, does it put a strain on your vehicle? I don't even know what you drive. I mean, I know like what you drive as the road hammer, but I mean, you got like a big pickup, or do you drive a car or something? I could really go for some cheese. I really could. Excuse me. 2,460 pounds. That does seem light. Yeah, Country Boy, this is a good whiskey. This is a good bourbon. I will drink it as slowly as I can. I do want to sort of do an A/B of this and the other rabbit hole at some point, though. Crumbs, what are you doing with 2 of those? Holy snap. Well, I guess you and your wife each have one. But it seems to me like you're not going to have trouble towing that. For sure. Totally. Camping. Do you guys get a lot of time to camp? It seems like you spend all your time on the road. Like, do you guys get some weekends to do a little camping, or you take a week off? I mean, I know that you sort of bank up your holidays for after the Christmas break, but Like, realistically, how much camping can you guys do in the course of a year? Um, um, like, my family used to have one of those old campers that's the kind that flips out, you know? Like, when you're driving along, it's like a kind of a flat box, and then you arrive and you and this tent pops up. I think is it called a pop-up? I don't know. Um, we got rid of it because, or my parents got rid of it. I mean, I was a kid. I had no choice in this, but they got rid of it because we never had a chance to go camping really. And we went camping in it a few times. I have vague memories of being next to Lake Winnipeg, but Country Boy, should I have just a little bit more just to finish off the night? It's 22:30 right now. Gives us a half hour. um, okay, yeah, the 2500 is yours. It has a flatbed on it. Is that like as opposed to the box that's usually on the RS end of a pickup? The one pickup I actually kind of actively like is the Ford Maverick, is it called? The one that's like the size that pickups were back in the 80s. I kind of like that one. Mark Davidson is out. All right, good night, sir. Sleep well. Everyone say good night to Mark. Um, Peanut Trucker says, yeah, we'll go on weekends. I usually work 3 weeks, take 4 days off, time to squeeze in some time relaxing. We've always wanted to do some camping. Okay, yeah, that works well then, right? If you do 3 weeks and then you get a 4-day weekend, yeah, that's nice. I mean, 3 weeks can be a rough haul, I'm sure, but yeah. Oh, my snap! Look who's here. David popping in. David saying hi. 28 minutes to the end, and David's finally here. And as I always say, David is a channel mod, and a channel hero. So be polite or get the banhammer dropped upon you. Country Boy says, I've been looking for a pop-up for my little truck for years. Places I go can't pull a trailer and don't want a real camper because they're top heavy. They must still make pop-ups. Or are you looking in the used market? So you're looking for something affordable, but that's in good condition? Pour a little more. Okay. I'll pour just a little touch more. I wish I had a blanket down here. I got my shorts on because I spend most of my time in shorts when I'm home, but it's kind of cold down here for some reason, Siswar. Pour it, oops, a little bit more. That will be it for the night. Yeah, I could handle a blanket right about now. Where the hell is Russell? What's going on? I hope he's okay. I know he keeps twinging his back or his side. I'm wondering if he's just sort of taking some time off from the onlines so that he can recover. I'm worried about that guy. Okay, yeah, so the new ones are more than you want to spend, but no one is selling them used. Okay. Yeah, that can be a drag for sure. For sure. Like, I'd really like to get a blanket. Will you guys be okay without me for like 30 seconds? It'll be fine. This is not the blanket I wanted. I wanted the blue one. Where was I? I don't remember, but it was going to be spectacular and hilarious. Give me a sec here, people. Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes life great. The only thing that would make this better would be... Okay, the only 4 things that would make this better would be wood-burning stove, forest outside the window, log cabin, and a dog at my feet or a cat in my lap. Good book, glass of whiskey. I got the glass of whiskey. Yep. Where were we? Jim is asking Country Boy if he's looked at the truck box tents. I don't know. Does Country Boy have a truck? I don't remember. David Evans says, "Why not consider a towable trailer?" He wants something that's lower down, that's not top heavy. Country Boy says, "Where I camp, I like to have some structure around me, even if it's just aluminium and hard insulation." Can't get a trailer into the spot. Can't get into that sugar. Where's Marcus? I want to talk to Marcus. About doing an episode on lanterns, but I don't remember. I know that he and I have spoken or like texted, but I don't remember which of the bajillion texting technologies out there we used. I haven't seen Marcus in a minute. David, do you know if Marcus is okay? You can't beat a nice blanket, people. You really can't. This is something else. Chatting with my buddies, unisex buddies. You know what I'm saying? With a little whiskey, nice blanket. Loving it. Love me some Tuesday Night Magic. Chris, like we should all text Marcus at the same time and go. But the thing is, I don't remember what messenger I used to talk to him. I don't remember. And it's amazing how many messages you send on a given day / week / month / year. Like 29th of June, Christy texted me on Facebook Messenger. That's a long time ago. Like a cousin of mine texted me at one point, but like aside from that, there's like I have no idea which messenger I used to talk to him. So yes, I would love for us all to text Marcus at the same time, but I don't know how to. David, don't send me his mobile number until you ask him first, right? Or you can send him mine. But yeah, don't ask him before doing that. He might get Jim says, "I haven't had any issues with black bears, but I also haven't camped much in warmer weather." I haven't had much trouble with black bears either. I mean, aside from having, a tent knocked down on me by one once. I don't really think too much about it. Destiny says I should get some cheese and keep you warm when the storm comes. No, I hate stepping off screen. I did it for the blanket. I'm not going to do it again. I'll have some cheese after, like, right after. Okay, See you all next week. You can be kind, be sane, be blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye. Click. Voop. Gonna go get me some brie. David just ate some cheese. Nice. What kind of cheese did you eat? Please don't tell me it was like Stilton. Jim says, talking about soft side tents as opposed to aluminium. Right. Before I went upstairs to get the blanket, thank you, Jesse, for remembering. What I was going to say is that, like, I'm 52 now, right? So, whereas I love to camp in the most basic ways possible, right? Tent or a hammock, or maybe rarely, like I haven't done this in years, but just a tarp with a sleeping bag under it, right? Um, I may be entering the phase of life where a pop up or a tent trailer or like a camper trailer or something, whatever they're called, like that may be how I have to do it at some point relatively soon in the future. I don't want to give up my concept of what a good camp is, but I mean, I've got arthritis in my hands, my wrists, my knees, right? At some point I may need to get more realistic. Not yet, but at some point I may need to get more realistic about what camping really means. Yes, Destiny. Jeez. Country Boy says unto Jim, I live on the west coast of Canada. There's more beer shite. There's more bear shite on the dirt roads than there is dirt. They don't scare me when I'm awake, but I like my sleep uninterrupted. The reason I said beer shite is because a poet, an American poet, Charles Bukowski once said that writing a poem is like taking a beer shit. And he says, you do it and you stand up and you look down and you think, I made that. And I can't forget that statement, even though it's like, yikes. But I mean, that's the Bukowski magic, right? I mean, he was rude like that. He wrote poems for a living, but he came at poems from underneath rather than, artsy and cerebral. He's very earthy and very, he wrote from the bottom up kind of. And so I remember that he also once said that, people think that poetry is high art, but it's more natural, like farting. I'm paraphrasing part of that, but oh, hold on, people. Two things. First, Charles and Jim's heading out. He's gonna take the dog out to yellow the snow, and so all right, hearing a lot of coyotes, so keep that dog safe. Good night, Jim. Nice to have you hanging with us as always. Right before that, Charles and Annie popping in at a quarter to the hour to say hi to everyone. How you guys doing? How's the weather down there? I'm trying to catch up with the chat, but you guys are just so active. Okay, everyone's just sort of saying hi to everyone. Okay, so we're good. Yuck! Don't forget to pick up the yellow snow. I think so long as it's on his own land, he's probably okay. On my other channel one day, I should do an episode on like what my biggest whiskey disappointments were. There are two bottles that spring directly to mind. That's an episode that might do well for me too. I don't know why I'm thinking about that because this whiskey is definitely not disappointing, but it just popped into my head. I should probably do it. You're in Manila now for Valentine's week. Nice. So, I'm playing a gig. Well, no, I'm playing 2 gigs, but they kinda just count as one. Like, as you guys know, whenever my band plays at Hurley's, it's always the Friday and the Saturday. Like, that's what the gig is. So, the Valentine's weekend, um, we're playing with a fiddler we've never played with before. She's a young woman from Ireland who's here on a 2-year visa. Um, and usually, like, our first time playing with a new fiddler, we just meet them at the pub and get up on stage and just, "Let's see what happens." Um, but because she's quite young, she felt she would feel better if we'd had like a jam session before going up. So we did last Sunday. She's very good. I have no qualms about going on stage with her. Nice girl too, super nice. Musically interested, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to it. But Jesse, you're not going to be with your love on Valentine's. Oh, we've been together for 20 years. We're going to be okay. Also, my daughter has a basketball tournament in some town somewhere. So they're going to go and watch the game and hang out. So, you know. So Charles and Annie, they're still looking. Fox at Outdoors. How you doing, Cliff? Trying to make myself known here. Been listening the entire time. Oh, geez, you should have said hi earlier. We could have been talking about, what your garden plans were for the year. For those of you who don't know, Cliff tends to grow some plants, and his plantings are kind of impressive. Also, Shawnee, I don't know if she's still here, also does some pretty serious gardening stuff. In fact, her channel seems to be all about it. Interesting stuff. I keep thinking like this year I'm gonna have a major frickin' garden. Last year our garden was massively disappointing. The year before the tomatoes went gangbusters, but they kind of crowded out like the carrots and stuff. So we're trying to plant like one tomato plant, maybe two. Everyone's just saying hi to Cliff, and Cliff is saying hi to everyone else. I'm taking a sip of the whiskey. So yeah, I got to finish editing my Valentine's cocktail recipe video. I got to finish editing my Valentine's cocktail design video for my other channel. I got to practice for this week's gigs. David is looking forward to there it is. David is looking forward to trying his hand at gardening this season. Yeah, I love messing around in the dirt, the smell, the loamy kind of growing kind of smell of digging in the dirt, watering the plants. And I do like working in the outdoors. I'm getting tired, guys. It's okay. We're 12 minutes to the end. Charles and Annie are having lunch at Antonio's restaurant in Summit Magnolia Mall. Annie is having a margarita and a beer for me. Worms are your friends in the garden. Absolutely. Yeah. Whoops. Everything just jumped. But oh yeah, we're at the end of we're at the bottom of the chat anyway though. Good to see everyone tonight. I hope all is well. I think all is quite well. I hope everyone's having a good night and enjoying the live stream as I am. Though I would be enjoying it more if I had cheese. Whiskey's good, but it'd be nice to have some cheese. And Russell. Where the hell's Russell? Al and Russell. Oh. Al and Russell are both missing. Maybe they're cloistered somewhere, planning miscreant deeds, or working on the design for Russell's workshop. Worms are your friends in the garden. Ants, slightly less so. We have an ant problem. We dug out all of our earth at the end of last season, and we're going to replace it all. Throw down some black earth and then some topsoil. See if that helps, because we poisoned the ants, so we don't want to grow food in poisoned soil. You know, it's funny. There are like 19 people watching, but like somebody who's watching and hasn't said anything tonight, say something. Let me know you're here so I can, say hi. I'm gonna have some tea. Because why? Why am I having tea? Because it's a good drink. I was listening to Gone Medieval, which is a medieval, a podcast on medieval Europe by the History Hit channel. And it's this episode was on the early Middle Ages. And they were talking about how it's interesting that we used to call this era like the Dark Ages. Um, Originally, it was because we have very little information about it, but people sort of came to think it was because all learning had gone from the land because the Romans had fallen and all this. But they were like running down the things that the innovations of the early medieval, which fly completely in the face of the philosophy of those who think that it was called the Dark Ages because people were dumb. And like one of those innovations was the Romans could never figure out how to grow stuff in certain soils. And in the early medieval, they figured that out so that you suddenly had these massive farms in like Germania, way further north than the Romans could ever have conceived of growing stuff, or in the kind of soil that the Romans would have just considered bad. The early medieval is where the three field system came from, right? Where you leave a field fallow because you got to kind of renew your fields over time. And I'm very into medieval. I like history, and when I say that, I don't mean in the typical kind of white guy. You know, I like history. I wish our flag was back to the red ends, and then all the black people were gone. What I mean is, I like knowing the deep history of the earth and of civilizations. Um, I hope that wasn't too loud. Sorry, guys. And I love learning stuff about the medieval period because it's so fascinating. Like you would think that the three field system boring. No, are you kidding me? Without I'm sorry, guys. Without modern science, they figured out that you have to leave one of your fields fallow and rotate that every year. Without modern science, just by observation, thinking, realization, logic, practice. Ancient people weren't stupider than us. They weren't coarser than us. Their works were not less refined than ours, but we think of them these ways. We think of them as simpler, you know. But they were coming up with new ideas. They were problem solving. It's just we don't know so much of it, and that's why it was being called the Dark Ages. But like historians do not use that term anymore. Um, Country Boy is asking. Oh, Fox it says something. Yeah, except that you'd already said something. Country Boy says I should have. Why don't I have a beer fridge full of cheese under my desk? I do have a beer fridge, but it does tend to have beverages in it. Hold on. Uh, David says I should have Shawnee on one night to talk about gardening. I'm not against that, especially now that I know that she can do live streaming. Maybe I'll ping her because Country Boy agrees. Susie Q says I. Nice to see you, Susie. I hope the weather is treating you well tonight. I hope your health is good. I hope you're having a fabulous evening. I'm having a great evening. Fox it says, come on, Cliff. There we are. Trial and error is how we figure out lots of things. That gardening is no stranger to that fact. That's why things like how we know which mushrooms you can eat and which ones you can't is like, wow, that knowledge probably came with a price, you know? But also, like, how did they figure maple syrup out? Because that's not just an accident, right? Because it's 40 gallons of syrup to 1 gallon. No, 40 gallons of sap to 1 gallon of syrup. I'm using gallons for the Americans, but I mean it's still the same with liters, right? 40 liters of sap to 1 liter of um, of syrup. Like, that's the like if that's just a trial and error thing, that probably came from years like of discovery building on discovery, and we're talking about ancient people. We're talking about a non-literate society because we're talking about North Americans, right? Like Native North Americans. Stuff like that is fascinating to me. Um, Shawnee is obviously still here since she's looking around. I do not believe that you're still a bit of a novice. You did a live stream walking around your garden. There's no way that was just luck. There's no way. I don't believe you, Cliff. I think you're selling yourself short. That garden was spectacular. But what Shawnee says is true. There's always something to learn, for sure. I agree with that completely. And this also makes a lot of sense. What Country Boy says to Cliff, even with knowledge, trial and error is the best teacher. I think there's something to be said for that. Shawnee says, tomahawk hit the tree, the sap came out. Yeah, but it's the boiling it down to syrup thing that confuses me. And then taking that syrup and putting it on snow with a popsicle stick to make a la tire, which is a cultural imperative in Quebec in the winter, by the way. Cliff says, I've ended the existence of many planets, however, not as many as some. All right. Country Boy is telling Destiny that Shawnee just had a quotable quote. That one requires context, though. Charles says, yes, gardening is a learning experience. We have hired someone to help us in our garden. Like just to show you stuff or to be like your gardener. Oh my god, were they yawning? It's okay. There's 2 minutes until the end of it. Okay. Chris is out. So yeah, Chris, be safe. Sleep well tonight. Cliff says, still trying to figure out hardneck garlic. The desert isn't exactly the best way to grow them. I would love to grow my own garlic, but I don't even know what the whole process is because you have to grow it and then you have to dry it, right? But like, not to the point where it starts to decay or rot on you. It's like, I don't know how it works. I'd like to, though. I would love to grow my own garlic. I would love to have crazy success with carrots, and I feel that our earth was just too clay-like. But now that we've dug most of our garden away and we're going to replace all the earth, maybe this is our year to grow carrots. It would really be nice to get some carrots to come up. We also tried with beets. Nope. It's like the clay earth kept them all really small. You know, kept them from being able to expand in the earth. Honestly, garlic is rather easy, pretty much set and forget plant. Yeah, but once you pull it out, like, how do you keep it from like, how do you dry it out without it going bad? Right? Because it is dried out, isn't it? Hey, it looks dried out, and, I seem to remember reading somewhere that you have to hang it or something for a while after it's grown and you harvest it. Ugh, you know what, guys? It's 2300 hours or 11 PM. Um, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say goodnight until next week. So here's the part where I say, uh, we're at 11 o'clock, so we're shutting it down. So, everyone, thank you for hanging with me tonight and keeping this thing interesting. I love the fact that there are still 17 of you kicking back to the very bitter end with me. Um, and aside from that, between now and next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night.